Hi, Facebook. This is Dr. Wanda, and this is our Friday chat, the final chat for the week. And I wanted to discuss financial literacy. And to tell you the truth, it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 chats to get through this topic because it's that dense and that intense if you're coming from the diaspora on into Africa. This opinion applies to any situation. But most certainly not limited to Ghana. But one thing you're going to find is that, and again, since I'm in Ghana, I'll speak to Ghana, is that the concept of financial literacy is low here. And when I'm talking about literacy, I want to start at the lowest, at the simplest point, which is it's very difficult to run into Africans that have the concept of saving. Very, very difficult. I even struggle with that even in my own marriage. That it's not that my husband doesn't respect money, that he doesn't understand the value of money, but rather he's been trained that as soon as you get some money, you spend it. There is a very basic desperation in the way that money is managed. So everything is for today. Um, and so when you think of doing business, when you get yourself in situations where you are sending money back to someone and you have an expectation that they're applying it to what you've asked them to apply it to, or if you're using money to say you're sending money because you believe that you want them to build you a house or secure land, or you're putting it towards someone's school fees, all of these things can get suspect because the people don't have an embedded sense of financial literacy. They are not trained to save. They are not trained to tithe themselves first and then take care of other things. They're not trained to make sure that everything in their household is okay before they begin to shell money out to, say, a parent or relatives or someone else. So this may seem like a simple issue. It's actually a huge issue. It's a painful issue. And it's not just for the black that's returning. Even Africans who have gone away to the US, to the UK, Germany, when they're living about, they run into the same issues with money. It's very scary and very hard. It's ill advised to send money back to Africa. That's the best way I can say. You have to do that after you've done quite a bit of one, scouting out a trusted steward. And what I mean by that is you need to make sure that they are comfortable managing money, that everybody that calls them, they don't feel beholden to give away money, and most certainly not give away your money. Okay? You need to find a trusted steward that will tell you the truth about what's happening with money. Okay, so if you're saying, okay, I'm willing to send money to help build a school, or I'm willing to send money to help with a house or secure land, you need to, I personally believe that you should come at least once and be boots on the ground and see this stuff first, because even with the African sending back to his own relatives, there have been many who have done that to disappointment and to injury, where they thought all this time that they was grinding in the West, and they were sending back this money, and their relative was doing what they said they were doing with the money, what everybody agreed on, and unfortunately they weren't. And then when they came to see what's been going on all this time, they found out that absolutely nothing. That in fact, sometimes it's been wasted, sometimes it's been begged out of them, um, sometimes they literally have just simply been scammed. So this is why the financial literacy is important. You need your own financial literacy, which is that you need to understand the culture and climate of how money moves in the nation, what the value or the exchange rate is for the dollar into whatever nation that you're looking at here. Of course, it's the Ghana CD. But then you also need to know how far that goes, what it reaches, what it don't reach, because people can basically sort of price gouge you, give you inflated numbers, tell you things are more expensive than they actually are. It's a lot that can go on with that. They oftentimes can shop for you, and they shop for you in such a way that they don't save you money, that they don't think to themselves, now I could actually get this versus this and save her money, because they don't have a sense that even though you're coming from the West, you want to be as cost effective as possible. This has caused a lot of injury, a lot of injury. Folks just sending money back, believing that people share the same financial literacy, or the same financial perspective as they do, and finding out that they don't. Never assume. Don't assume because it's a pastor. Don't assume because the person is well educated. Don't assume because they already own land that you share the same perspective, the same views about how you manage finance. So I have some basic examples. One is I taught my husband how to do a budget. Now the concept of budgeting, it was new to him. We sat down, and so I would say we're going to spend 150 Ghana or 200 Ghana each week, and we would put the 200 Ghana, and then we would start going through the list of things we need: sachet water, transport, food, whatever. And then we would deduct as we went along to see. So this was his first time really disciplining himself to have to be conscious of what he spent. And I kept the budget tight, 200 Ghana, which works out to be about $45 US. And so that seems like a little money, but it goes a long way in Ghana. And so he was religiously doing that, and then we would see, oh, we're spending a lot here. We have some wiggle room here. And we did that exercise. That was the second visit. We did that exercise, and he actually was very good at budgeting. Okay, then we also got a bank, and I had him, before church, before anything, take 10% and tithe it to yourself, because the training is you take care of yourself first, then you see about other people. But of course, they function a different way. They try to take care of everybody else, and then they hope they can see about themselves. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. If somebody else seeing something different, God bless you. Okay, so he got into the practice of doing that. All right, when it was time for me to leave, I said, all right, continue with this budget. Now, once I was on that plane and I was back in the U.S., he gave up on that budget. He stopped doing all of it. And he went back to his way, which is you get the money, and then you buy you some food, you buy you some stuff for cleaning, you have your transport. And so he would see where the money was going through his fingers, but he could not account for it. His experience is not unique. It's the same experience that our teenagers have. It's the same experience we have when we first live on our own. It's the same experience that people who get their paychecks on Friday, and they decide, okay, it's Friday, I got my paycheck, I'm going shopping, and they don't keep track and account of what they're spending. They don't balance, quote unquote, a checkbook. This is a common problem in Africa. And so, if you're coming here to live, and if you're coming and marrying an African, be it male or female, you have to come with a perspective that one thing I want in my relationship that's going to help us grow is to ground it in some good old fashioned financial literacy. Make sure that some of the terms that's needed to teach about good money management, you begin to share with your spouse. You begin to share with your significant. Otherwise, I can promise you, you're going to fight like cats and dogs. You're going to be at war, because the continent has poverty stressors that make folks sometimes, and we experience them in the U.S., where sometimes we're just living for the weekend. We're just living for today. And so we don't even think, look, If there's gonna be a rainy day, that I may run into sickness. Um, there are things that I want that I need to save for. How do you, if you want to get a car, and you're getting so many CDs, how do you put money aside to so that you can get that? So you're finding more people who just tell you what they can't have, what they don't have, what's too expensive, because they will not buckle themselves down to save. Now, they're not doing this to be difficult or hard headed or ignorant. They're doing it because they don't have financial literacy. And for us Americans, I want you to put yourself back in place with these basketball players, these NFL, these football players, these rappers who get these huge contracts. They get they get $1 million check, and you look at what they spend the money on, and you think, my God, when this guy's like 22, 23, 24, 25 with $1 million, and he's wasting it. He's back three, four cars, a mansion, um, strip clubs. He got two chicks on the side. All these child support cases. Okay, that person is someone that's moving their money with no sense of financial literacy. Like, you're going to get old. You have the potential to have injury and have to sit. You may age out of this field. What are you going to do with yourself? How do Are you investing? Do you have an investment? Do you save? If you save, how do you goal set? Is there any type of goal setting in you? Do you understand cryptocurrency? Do you understand how interest rates work? All of this is a part of financial literacy. And you don't have to be super duper sophisticated to teach somebody to have a pickle jar and put change in it. Our parents, our great grandparents came out of slaveocracy, at least putting coins in a can. So we know what can happen, because the American black had to fight for everything. There's nothing that was given to us, including the stuff that was promised to us. So if nothing else, on some cursory level, at different junctures, we've understood financial literacy. I don't so much know if that's something that's been forced upon the African, but it's a beautiful thing to share in a loving way, without judgment, without arrogance, but rather because it actually is a way for all parties involved to prosper, and to know some level of security in life, because life is unpredictable. Um, I told you this is going to be probably two or three times I have to sit down with you to talk about this. So here's something I brought to the continent. I got a set of these. A gentleman I know shared it with me. It's called the ABCs of Economics. And this is actually a children's book, okay? It's written by a woman. Her name is Chris Ferry. She is a physicist, a mathematician, and her father, I'm sorry, Chris Ferry is a guy, the father of four budding young scientists, and he believes it's never too early to introduce small children to big ideas. And then his partner with this book is Veronica Goodman, and she's an economist. I'm sorry, she's an economist and a children's book author with graduate degrees in economics and management from Johns Hopkins University. So they put this wonderful book together that's the ABCs of Economics. So instead of going through and talking about the regular ABCs, they're talking about E is for equilibrium, and they explain what that is. Okay? F is for fixed costs. G is for goods, and they explain that. H is for households. I think you're getting the idea. L is for labor. So what this book is, it goes through and it breaks down in a very simplistic way for children how the economy work, how the stock market work, how saving work, how banks work, how inflation works. I is for inflation. All of this stuff that our parents, poor people, don't talk to us about. M is for monopoly. So this is a course, I'm hoping to actually launch here. I did have a Ghanaian and a South African, both educators, work on curriculum for me. We worked as a team through the WhatsApp to try to put it together. I'm just only looking for the school to launch it with because I want it to be respected and taken serious. I'm not a math girl. I'm your language arts. I'm your creativity. I'm that person. But I know good curriculum when I see it. R is for resources. Okay. Y is for yield. So you can see where this book takes you. So part of what's happening with this conversation is the same conversation I had with my husband. I was blessed that I had a mother that taught me to save, and that the mere fact that she taught me to save, has saved me from a lot of trouble, especially as a woman. Okay, and it is the reason I've acquired half, if not most, of my assets. Another woman loved on me, an elder woman loved on me, and taught me how to invest. She made suggestions to me about how to invest, at least in tax sheltered annuities. That was what was happening at that point. And as I've gotten older, I've come to understand that, because I've crossed that 50 mark, that then you get health challenges. You're on the other side now, so you need to leave something behind. So that gave me a whole new respect for life insurance policies, all that good stuff. So these are the type of things when you think about, I want to be loving in Africa, and I want to be respected. But I also want to make sure that this is a means of building a professional respect between each other, right? Like I want to know if if you ask me to invest in a, a papaya plantation, a tobacco plantation, and I send you money. I want us to have a language that we speak that's one of respect, and it needs to be grounded. It needs to be deeply grounded in financial literacy so that the money that you send actually is not wasted and is applied to what two people agree with, okay? Because sometimes you're sending money to solve a problem and you're actually making the problem worse for not only the person on the other end, but also for yourself. Nobody in Africa, if you send them money, are going to pay you back. You're not getting your money back. And if you think you're going to go through some legal system, you're not. That process, unless you have some legally binding document and you've come here and gone through a deeper thing with the courts and lawyers, that's the only way you're going to see that. So when you're wiring money, whether it's your spouse, a family member, whatever, you need to do that where you've spoken a language, you have a language about the way you see finance, you've already laid out those terms. I believe in saving. I believe in good stewardship. I believe that sometimes the best thing you can do for a problem is to tell the individual no, because you're not anybody's savior. And these people were here existing and having problems just like you are in the U.S. before they ever knew you. So it's not your responsibility. But if this is something you want to involve yourself in, whether it's investing, whether it's getting a house, securing land, and you're going to send the money, wire the money, I suggest that you begin a process of speaking a language, a financial literacy language, so that it can grow, and you can be partners for longevity for a long time. So this is part one of a longer chat, and I want to wish you a happy Friday.